A review of Kentucky Route Zero TV edition. It is possible to talk about Kentucky Route Zero without mentioning the history of the game's development. A fundraising campaign on Kickstarter started back in 2011, and the developers managed to raise the required amount to create the first episode. But the release of subsequent episodes was delayed, so much so between the first, released in 2013, and the final fifth, which was released in 2020. 7 whole years have passed. It took another 3 years to port the title to all possible platforms, including Linux, macOS, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, Android, iOS, and finally PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Moreover, the console version received the subtitle TV edition, emphasizing a certain cinematic quality of this adventure. The player seems to be watching a mystical series on TV late in the evening, but becomes not a spectator, but a participant in the action who can influence it with his decisions. The game begins with a journey. A truck driver named Convoy stops at a gas station to ask how he can find Route Zero, and gets caught up in incredible events. However, Convoy cannot be clearly called the main character. As the script progresses, control passes to other characters, and the true background of the story may remain somewhere behind the scenes. And if you listen to the story too superficially, you may not reveal the full depth of the plot. There is no more point. Excuse the tautology in talking about the meaning, the metamorphose of Kentucky Route Zero TV edition. You need to play it yourself to get to know the game, and each player will receive a unique experience and expressions based on their background. Where one sees ordinary dialogues, another will admire the subtitle references and allusions to great literary works. In other words, anyone can count on pleasant emotions from the title, but a person of high culture will receive a little more. Meanwhile, the game offers very limited gameplay. For the most part, we interact with active points on the screen and select response options in dialogues. Having set off on a journey across to the global map, you can choose your own direction, periodically stumbling upon various events performed in the form of text questions. That's basically all that Kentucky Route Zero TV edition has to offer. Combined with the melancholy mood and measured narrative, such gameplay can cause boredom. So you should understand in advance what the project is. And returning to the release of the title on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, we should mention the quality and features of the console version. We played on PS5 where the game boasts 4K resolution and fast loading times between scenes. The too aggressive vibration response of the gamepad caused some discomfort, but otherwise there are no complaints about the game. Which is not surprising, after all this is not a EA project, in context of which we can talk about frame rate, picture resolution and other technical issues, but almost a theatrical production in a video game format, which looks and feels equally good on any platform, be it PC, consoles or mobile devices. Kentucky Route Zero TV edition is wonderful narrative adventure, especially valuable because it conveys the atmosphere of the American heartland so rarely shown in games. Okay, it may sound a little banal, but this project is not for everyone. That is, you should at least strongly know what to expect from it, mentally prepared for a confusing, multi-layered story and an almost complete absence of active gameplay. But once you enter the game walked in the right frame of mind, you won't want to leave until you reach the end of the last act.